Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I want to talk about being tolerant and lenient towards your wives. Now, it has come to my attention that some men feel that because they are men and they are at the helm of their household, they're the captain of the ship, as it were. They feel that they are entitled to obedience from their wives in every respect, and this is misconstrued, even within the Abrahamic tradition, and it is something that is sometimes misconstrued even within our own tradition, because your wife is not your slave. So let me put this, down. Now, I'm not arguing the case of feminism, by the way. I'm not into, women's liberation, because I don't believe that women were ever enslaved. But I am in favor of women's rights, and there's a difference, okay? And when I say women's rights, I mean the rights that are entitled to them, not more than that, okay? And so what I want to kind of point out to men is that there really is only a very limited set of things in which a woman has to be obedient to her husband in order to make a marriage work. And those things are often very naturally understood by women, even women who don't necessarily believe in the idea that they have to be obedient to their husbands. Nevertheless, they oblige within a very certain specific set of things that they know would compromise and undermine their married relationship. And that really has to do with what happens outside the home and not so much what happens inside the home. Okay? So as a man, you should be prepared to put up with a lot regarding a woman and her behavior and even her insolence inside the home, as long as it doesn't spill out to other people outside of the home. Okay? So what happens inside the home, your wife's attitude towards you inside the home should remain inside the home, should remain private. It should not be discussed outside of the home ever with anyone. And you should remember that your wife is the queen of a house, basically. In Arabic we say Rabb al-Bayt, Rabba Manzil, okay? She's the lord of the house, because that is historically, and still in modern times, it's her domain. And so when you come home to your house, you are coming home to her house, okay? You are coming, she is your home, okay? Your wife is your home, okay? And the house is her house. Even if it's your house, legally you own the house, right? And so she is literally accommodating you in the space that is traditionally her space, okay? And so whether you be the leader of a nation, the captain of the army, the general, or whatever important position you claim out there outside, the minute you step into your house, you step through the door, okay, you are now in her domain. Okay. And now, because you are in her domain, right, you should be prepared to tolerate much. You should be prepared to tolerate a lot from her. Okay, because now you are no longer the president of the country. You are no longer, the general of an army. You are no longer anything you are. Any self-importance you might have out there doesn't matter when you're in here. Okay? Because that's how you really will get to have an intimate relationship with your wife. And therefore, you should be prepared to let go of your male ego, and that which you need to preserve as protocol and authority out there, right? When you are in here, when you are at home, right? Then none of that matters anymore. Okay? Obviously with certain limitations, but then you gotta understand that as men, we are not as susceptible to reacting on our emotions like women are, and so we should be able to tolerate misbehavior on their part when they act out, because that is part of being a woman. You cannot expect them to toe the line or remain within, a certain parameters or decorum with you all the time. Okay, it's not possible, and it shouldn't be necessary. Okay, because after all, you are the husband. But where it does matter, where a woman's obedience to a man counts most of all, has to do with how she is out there. Because when she's out there, outside the home, in front of other people, she's not just herself, she's not just an individual, she is an individual who is your wife. And her behavior affects your standing in the society. Okay, she has to behave according to your status in the society when she leaves the home. So if you're the president of the country, right, she has to behave in accordance with your being the president of the country. If you're a general in the army or whatever, it doesn't matter what you are, she has to behave with a certain amount of dignity and honor, right, so as to retain your dignity and honor in the society. And this is where the obedience counts most of all. Okay, so obedience counts that your wife obeys you regarding your standing in the society outside of the house, that she obeys you regarding her interaction with other men, because other men could come in and undermine your marriage. And often it is you as a man that you are best suited, and you are more capable of understanding how other men can come in and compromise your marriage through your wife, because your wife is your weakest point, basically. So if another man comes in and starts talking to her, and she starts inclining towards him and listening to him, okay, it basically now creates weakness in your home. Okay, your castle is compromised, basically. Your wife is basically now becomes an enemy to you, right? And we see that, many examples of that in history. So when it comes to her interaction with other men, how she carries herself when dealing with other men, how she carries herself when she's out and about in the society, right? These are severe, critical areas in which she must absolutely obey and respect your wishes regarding her, because she is capable of making or breaking you, basically. Her behavior out there could literally tarnish your reputation and scar you for life. Okay? And you would lose your respect as a man in the society that you live. Okay? If, for example, your wife goes out and decides that she's going to hang out in public every day with another guy, you know, and appear as though she's having an affair, even if she's not, right? She has no business doing that anyway. But the point is, your reputation as a man then becomes falls into question in the society, because in many societies still today, we tend to place the blame on men for the actions of women, okay? And because society functions like that in many places, right? The actions of your wife often gets referred back to you, okay? Other men would say, look, can't you control your wife? Right? That is, you know, are you not able to you know, get your wife to behave herself properly, for example? Okay? Because we still infantilize, if that's the word, you know, we women are often treated like children in the world, no matter how old they are, okay? And so it is almost always never their fault, okay? But you have to make your wife understand, you know, the great burden and responsibility she carries on her shoulders just by being your wife. That is if you're a man of integrity and dignity, okay? And if she doesn't understand that, then you have a problem, okay? But other than that, within your home, you gotta be very, very lenient and tolerant, and allow her the freedom to be